Dreadful Seconds isn't just a channel, it's a thriving community of those who love to be scared. Share theories, discuss plots, and connect with horror lovers from around the globe. Here, you're never alone in your fear. Are you bold enough to embrace the darkness? Like, share, and subscribe to Dreadful Seconds. Unlock a treasure trove of horror and keep the nightmares coming. Join us, and let your adventure into the unknown begin today. Your membership in the fear-filled realm awaits.
The Silent House. It all started during a weekend getaway to a cabin deep in the woods. My friends had cancelled at the last minute, but I had been looking forward to the solitude. It seemed like the perfect opportunity to disconnect, reflect, and catch up on some writing. The cabin itself was charming, a small, rustic structure with creaky wooden floors, nestled in a clearing surrounded by towering pines. The nearest town was over an hour away, and there was no cell service. I had brought along a flashlight, matches, and a sturdy old oil lantern. The first night passed uneventfully. I stayed up late, writing by the glow of the lantern. But as the hours dragged on, I began to feel a strange unease, as though the forest was holding its breath. I chalked it up to being alone in an unfamiliar place. At around 3 a.m., I heard it for the first time. A faint knock at the door. Knock, knock, knock. I froze. My logical mind argued that it could be a branch brushing against the wood, but the knocks were deliberate, spaced evenly apart. Slowly, I crept to the window and peered out. The clearing was bathed in moonlight, empty except for the dark silhouettes of the trees. I convinced myself it was nothing and went back to bed. But sleep was impossible. The knocking returned. Louder this time. Knock, knock, knock. My pulse raced. "Who's there?" I called, my voice trembling. No answer. Gripping the flashlight, I opened the door. The cold night air rushed in, carrying the faint scent of pine and earth. No one was there. Yet, just beyond the porch, I noticed something, a trail of muddy footprints leading away into the woods. They were bare footprints. Human, but oddly large, and they didn't seem to have a clear starting point. I closed the door and bolted it, my heart pounding. The following day, I tried to brush off the incident. Maybe I had imagined the sound. Maybe the footprints had been there all along. But as the sun set, the unease returned. I lit the lantern early, hoping its warm glow would keep the creeping dread at bay. Around midnight, the knocking resumed. This time, it was at the side window. Tap, tap, tap. I spun around, nearly dropping the lantern. The window was smeared with condensation from the inside, making it impossible to see out. But then, through the foggy glass, I saw it. A face. Pale, hollow eyes, and an impossibly wide grin. I screamed, stumbling backward, knocking over a chair. By the time I looked again, the face was gone. I spent the rest of the night huddled in the corner with the lantern, every creak and rustle setting my nerves on edge. Morning couldn't come fast enough. The next day, I decided to leave. I packed up and loaded the car as quickly as possible. But as I turned the key in the ignition, the engine sputtered and died. I tried again. Nothing. The cabin's isolation, which had felt so idyllic just days ago, now felt like a trap. I decided to wait until dawn to try and walk to the nearest town. That night, I stayed in the car, locking the doors and wrapping myself in a blanket. The knocking came again, but this time, it circled the car. Knock, knock, knock. I shut my eyes, trying to will it away. But then I heard something worse, the door handle jiggling. With no other choice, I blared the horn. The sound echoed through the clearing, piercing and frantic. Silence followed. When dawn broke, I found no signs of anyone, or anything. but etched into the car's muddy exterior was a single word: leave. I never returned to that cabin. Weeks later, I learned from a local that the place had a dark history. A previous owner had gone missing under mysterious circumstances. To this day, I can still hear that knocking in my nightmares.